I'm seriously gonna hate myself for doing this, aren't I? Well, fuck the individual who thought this up. That's me. Because I'm doing it anyway. That wasn't very nice. You're probably wondering why I'm doing this in the first place. To be honest, not really. It all starts with your favorite gaming company, Nintendo. You can just smell the family-oriented scumbags from here. If you're like that guy who fell down a hole for 127 hours, you probably have no idea what's going on in modern-day society. Nintendo recently released 2 renditions of their new Super Smash Bros. Series. One for the 3DS, and one for the Wii U. I was pretty hyped for it, as most people tended to be. Except for those sorry suckers who lived under rocks and chopped their own limbs off. Yeah, that was kinda dark, wasn't it? Eventually, I began searching through Super Smash Bros. Wii U's music selection. Because I have no friends and have no taste in music, I immediately became starstruck by a song I thought I'd never see again. Seriously, though, starstruck is a bit of an understatement considering I may have almost peed my pants when experiencing this music again. The reason I almost urinated in my only pair of pants was because that the music came from a game that is the most under-recognized game the world has ever known, which, for some odd reason, was suddenly recognized by one of the greatest gaming companies the world has ever known. Would you please get to the point? My beard is starting to grow out. It reminded me there was a good reason I played that game over and over and over again. So I've decided to explain that repetitively to everyone here today. I'm out! Well, I suppose I can start by telling you the actual name of the game, Baten Kaitos Origins. Not much fanfare, huh? Just like it was on release date. If you didn't notice by the weird-ass name, this game is incredibly obscure, at least to most people. The game itself was released at the very end of the GameCube's prime era, 2006-ish. The game seemed to open pretty well in Japan the first time it came out, selling 14,000 copy things in its first week on the market. Reviews were well-rounded in the good department, 7s, 8s, mostly. Yet, when it came to America, it didn't really hit as hard. Then wait, if the general public didn't like it, then why do I like it? Because go jump in a ditch, that's why. By the end of this rant, I'm going to convince you this game is entirely better than Jesus in every single which way. Even the charitable works. Just kidding, I'm pretty sure the sales from this game, like none of it went to charity. So, for real this time, why do I like it? Well, there are about 3 good reasons for that. The first is that it's unique. The entire game has that sort of Final Fantasy, strange lore feel, which it incorporates to every single creature and bit of scenery lying around. It looks good, it's fun to look at, and it's so goddamn weird even Final Fantasy can't compare to it. Here's the basic premise of the game. You are Sagi. Sort of. Sagi is something called a spiriter. This means he has his 2 souls in his body, his own and your stanky self. I presume this makes him more powerful than the average man, as it is said later that he has the ability to shape the universe's destiny, as all spiriters do. I mean, I know why, but it's not like I'm gonna spoil it for you. After the introduction sequence and the first mission, you get your ass kicked. You get fired and become a fugitive. All in one day, mind you, with your magical puppet friend, which I would compare to a sassy black lady in 17th century garb, and a sheltered girl with butterfly wings that popped out of nowhere. You set off on an adventure to discover who set you up, to find more crazy powerful things similar to the ones that attacked you at your job and completely destroyed you, and to unite the nations that float amongst the skies against the guy who could have possibly set you up. Oh, by the way, I thought I'd like to mention, the entire setting of the game takes place on magical floating islands, each of which has its own populace on it, or kingdom. Jesus Christ, Soggy Sandwich has some serious ambitions, doesn't he? Try saying that 5 times fast. Anyway, despite having its weird, crazy-ass plot, this is not the reason why I like the game so much. A better example of why this game is liquid Jesus is its crazy cool gameplay. Have you and a friend of yours ever played a game called Egyptian Rat Screw? The card game, not the murderous torture technique, God forbid. Mix that with the previously said liquid Jesus, some Final Fantasy aesthetics, and some wings, you would get Baten Kaitos Origins combat system in a nutshell. Its battle system works kinda like this. You start each battle with a deck you built beforehand. This deck is comprised of 3 types of cards: basic attack cards, items, and specials. Basic attack cards are the very center of your deck. These are labeled 1, 2, and 3. When it is your turn to set up your attacker's attack phase, I guess you could call it, you stack the cards from your hand in ascending order and then whip the bitch closest to you. Attack cards tend to do little damage on their own. Thus, in combination with these, you use item cards. There are 3 subcategories of item cards: defensive items, offensive items, and use items. Weapons can be used in set increments and do elemental and physical damages. Armor adds physical and elemental resistances, and use items have varied effects. However, potions are usually the only items used in this category, because you'd be pretty ridiculous if you threw a mattress at someone in the middle of battle. I'm not kidding, that's actually a thing. And yet, with all this stuff, the sword, the shining armor, shiny new rocket underpants, you can't really deal enough damage to kill any of the big guys. Jungle Death Pelican. If you have somehow miraculously played this game before, you know what I mean. This brings us to our flashy boom explosion category. The specials. These are the damage dealers. They're practically nuclear-powered fireworks. However, unlike all the other basic attack cards and items, you can't use them right off the bat.
Thus, the final piece is added, and the entire combat system finally makes sense as a whole.
So, how do you fuel the flames of nuclear holocaust? If you were thinking Jewish children, you may want to see a psychologist about that. To use a level 1 special, you need 1 bar of MP. To get MP, you need to build up bigger and bigger combos, etc., etc., etc.
Specials are leveled 1, 2, and 3, similar to basic attack cards. You need to spend 1 MP bar according to each level on each card. You then can also stack these in ascending order, just like basic attack cards. If you somehow manage to stack 3 basic attack cards and 3 specials, you can then do one last technique to boost your combo. Relaying! Or pass the fuck you baton, as I like to call it. If you end one character's combo on a special and have a level 1 basic attack card lying around, you can continue the combo with another idle character. Rinse, repeat, burning Jewish children. Wait, that's not quite what I meant. The point I'm trying to get across here is that the game's, gameplay is good, fluid, and fun to look at. And, fun in general. Declaring nuclear warfare on your enemies and then just completely destroying them is incredibly and deeply satisfying on a weird, fucked up level. And yet, after all the crap I just explained, the deal maker for this game has yet to be revealed. What could it possibly be? Well, do you remember how I rediscovered this game? Through the new Super Smash Bros. Soundtrack, right? Usually, you don't remember a game by the name of a song. The actual music, maybe, but not the name of it. Baten Kaitos Origins, however, is an exception because its video game soundtrack is the best that has ever existed. You can try to convince me otherwise, but I doubt you'll ever present something as good as this. Or this. Or my personal favorite. Really, every single track in the entire game is at least as good as these, and thus why it pisses me off when no one recognizes its glory. But Nintendo recognized it. That's worth something, right? Yep, it sure is, except for one extra detail. Those collective assholes are the ones who made it. I mean, I guess that's why the song's in Smash, but it kind of frustrates me they haven't made a new one. I mean, they were scraping the bottom of the barrel to get new characters in Smash, right? Shulk is as ridiculous as Sagi, if not more. Sagi wasn't wearing just a bathing suit when he was fighting the Empire. Sagi's taunts weren't so weird they had to make memes out of them. I dream of a world where Baten Kaitos Origins sold more copies than Xenoblade. Haha, wait a minute. Monolith Soft developed Xenoblade. I recognize that name from somewhere. Oh, there you are! On the back of the case of Baten Kaitos Origins! What a coincidence! Yeah, I looked into it and apparently Xenoblade sold like 1 billion copies. You get off this time, Xenoblade. Yet, if some of you guys have connections to Nintendo, for, some strange reason, yell at them for not making another one of these games. Because this game right here is my homie G. I'd hate for my homie G to never return. Never let down your homie G. Ever. The point I'm trying to get across The game's Soggy wasn't wearing underpants music. The actual music maybe, but not the... Soggy's taunts were so...